Welcome back to Glamour with me, Josh Smith, and today we're joined by the two queens of queerness. It's the stars of the happiest season. It's Kristen, Stewart, and Mackenzie Davis. How are you guys?
Great.
It's great.
Yeah, trucking along.
We are rolling with it. Well, I'm so happy that we get this Christmas gift in the form of the happiest season this year, because I was thinking when I was watching it, I think it would help me and a lot of people I know a lot when they were growing up, but also it's just basically a journey of self-acceptance and respect for others as well. How much for you guys would this story have helped you when you were growing up and learning to understand yourselves, would you say?
I would have loved to have seen this movie when I was younger. I wasn't as a teenager, as a younger person, or, well, I mean, I guess what's younger, even in my early 20s, I still wasn't dealing with, like, you know, having to contend with judgmental energy, like in terms of being around a family who didn't necessarily accept you, or just being an out gay person, whatever. I hadn't, like, but at the same time, I was fully, like, reacting to the strangeness of, basically what I'm saying is, like, I would have loved to have seen this movie, but I only know that in retrospect. And sometimes you need to be shown things before you know you need them. And like, I always wanted to work with Clea. I know for a fact that when I was watching But I'm a Cheerleader, that I was like, why? I love this movie for, like, probably pretty solid gay reasons, and didn't know that until, like, when I was an adult. So, you know, if this helps anyone who's unaware or aware of the fact that sometimes it's hard to say who you are around every group of people, then that makes me Trey happy.
I love that. And I think it will make a lot of people Trey happy. Mackenzie, how would it have helped you, do you think, personally?
It's hard to be like, well, the first gay studio rom-com was actually good for straights because most importantly, this is why representation matters. I know that phrase has sort of lost a bit of meaning because it's like should be on a flag, but it really does, because it doesn't only help the people who are being represented in the thing, it also normalizes a thing that up until that point maybe hasn't been normalized in mainstream entertainment. And I think, I don't know, I feel like I went to a pretty progressive high school and grew up in a very liberal environment that was very accepting, but I look back at things that happened in high school and the way, I think more with boys, the way that gay boys were treated, or whispers about gayness, and it wasn't normalized. It wasn't something that was, like, treated with open arms acceptance. And I think if there were movies like this, and if that's what we went to see on the weekends, it would not be cool. Sorry, I'm not including myself in this, to be clear. But there just was a culture of homophobia, even in the most sort of liberal communities. And I think not having representative stories that normalize it are the culprit for that sort of homophobia.
Oh my God, 100%. Like, representation is so important, and that's why we've got to keep talking about it. Because someone said to me the other day, they were like, you know, we won't have equality until people just don't have to come out, full stop, right? And I was thinking about this movie when I was watching it, but it's so important to have these kind of coming of age and realization stories. Why do you think it's still important to tell these sort of, like, coming out and reconciliation stories in 2020, do you think?
I mean, it's a really, like, fringy perspective to think that it's completely, like, that the fear has been sucked out of the idea of telling everyone, you know, it would be a really, really sort of naively optimistic, or kind of just ignorant, dumb way to approach. I mean, like, look at where we're at just here in the States, where I think it's I'm so happy to be in a movie that is inviting and part of a conversation that can be argumentative and sort of divisive. The movie has open arms, and it is not even judgmental of the people that are judgmental in the movie. To think that we're not as divided as we are is actually just, it's not very helpful, because it's not real. And like, I'm the most sort of, like, optimistic, like, glass half full person, but at the same time, I think this movie could be good for people that don't necessarily always lack judgment. I mean, it really is, like, inviting people to we could be loud and aggressive with a raw, kind of more in your face indie movie. And I want to make a bunch of those. I want to make a bunch of like, with other perspectives embedded in things that are sort of harder to digest. But I think it's really important to be like, no, look, like we're really nice too. Like, and we're just like you, and like, come laugh with us. It's not, you know what I mean? So
that's the spirit. It's a relationship story, full stop. And that no label can put on that. That's what's so special about it. And I think you guys have made such an incredible movie, and I think it's going to help so many people. So just so many clicks to both of you for creating it. So thank you so much.
Thank you.